Hey, this is Parker Whirling from the film Yes, God, Yes. Welcome to the Arroyo Show. I was really excited to work with Timothy Simons, who plays Father Murphy, because I'm a huge Veep fan. And he's on that, and he's one of the funniest people I've ever met and worked with.
Welcome back, you guys. I am Brandon Arroyo. This is The Arroyo Show. If it's your first time here, please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe. What a guest we have for you today. Parker Whirling, our first guest you can see portraying the role of Wade in the upcoming film Yes, God, Yes, starring Natalia Dyer, as well as appearing in Greyhound, starring Tom Hanks, in theaters July the 10th. Welcome to the show. Parker, how are you today?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's great to have you here with us on a beautiful, hot afternoon here. How's the weather out there in Atlanta?
It's perfect, actually. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's been rainy the last week, so it's nice to actually have a beautiful day today.
It's clearing up for you just in time for the 4th of July. Any exciting plans for this big
Exactly.
holiday weekend?
Not much, don't really want to be going out into a bunch of crowds and all that, but I'm with the family and we'll probably just be cooking out in the backyard, which I'm excited about. They're great chefs, so I get to reap the benefits,
Yeah.
So I'll just be hanging out with them.
And you're sitting in like the classic family chair right now. So talk to me about this. Is this like a passed down through like from your parents to you, or what's this chair?
I would love to say that is true. I don't think that there's too much history behind it. We have had it for a long time. But, I was trying to find the place with the best lighting and without too many distractions going on. And this seemed like the spot. I'm glad you like the chair.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like the story. It's like the chair that your relative will sit in to tell you some stories. So I'm excited. Yes, with the pipe and I almost said monocle, but I guess not the monocle, just like the eyeglasses tilted down just a little bit. We're going to tell you a story here. So I'm excited to hear your story about portraying in Yes, God, Yes. So that's where we should start off. The film was originally released at South by Southwest last year, but it's getting more of a major public release as a feature film now. How was your time working on the film Yes, God, Yes?
It was really fun. It filmed about 45 minutes outside of Atlanta. So, I live in LA, so it was nice to come back and be with the family while working on such a cool film. And I really was excited when I read the script. I just thought it was something that hadn't really been talked about before. And I just was really pumped to be a part of something like this.
Yeah, and it's a fun concept just in general, I feel like. Did you get that same sort of energy vibe from it when you first read through?
Yeah, it was really just unique in a sense of being told through the perspective of a coming of age Catholic girl in an environment where she's not really sure about, are her personal experiences valid? And I just thought that was a really cool thing I hadn't really been told. And obviously working with such great actors was like the coolest thing ever,
Yeah, and obviously, the people that were judging South by Southwest really agree that there was a lot of great things about this film. The short won the South by Southwest Award for ensemble acting in a narrative feature. And there's some great young actors, as you mentioned, working in this film, from Wolfgang Oh my gosh, I always screw up this last name. Novogratz, I want to say, is how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I think that's right.
A little easier, Alicia Bowe, and then, of course, Natalia Dyer. What were your first thoughts when you saw the cast that would be working around you in this film?
Well, I was definitely excited. I'd seen the first season of Stranger Things, so I was really pumped to, meet Natalia and work alongside her. Of course, Alicia and Wolfgang Novogratz are sweethearts, and that was a pleasure working with them. I was really excited to work with Timothy Simons, who plays Father Murphy, because I'm a huge Veep fan, and he's on that, and he's one of the funniest people I've ever met and worked with. So it's just a very loving cast and crew. Karen Main is the director and writer, and she's just got such a vision. It was such a fun and kind of, easygoing in a way. I'm sure there's that stress that's there, but it really felt like, that there wasn't a lot of drama or any kind of, I don't know how to put it. Just, it felt like everything was running smoothly, you know, which is not always the case on film sets.
I can remember the first time that I was on a set where I had that feeling of, oh my gosh, I've seen you on TV. I was working on, as just background at this point, on the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Terry Crews pulled in to just past catering because we were all in the catering area. He pulled up in his car and just walked out and waved hello to everybody as he was walking in. And I just remember thinking to myself, this is a moment. Like, I could just the first time working on set with somebody that I had seen on TV. Did you get that same sense when you had that moment with someone that you've seen on Veep for so long?
Right. Yeah. Timothy Simons. I mean, it's just one of those things where you have seen this person on TV for so long and you kind of have this connection that isn't, you know, this other person doesn't even know exists yet. So you got to like play it cool, you know, but he's so nice and approachable that there was nothing weird about feeling like I could just say hello and say, hey, I love you on this show. And he's super tall. So that was also like, oh my gosh, at first. But I definitely had the same thing with Tom Hanks, of course. That's like, that was a different level, you know.
Yeah, speaking of that, I mean, you've been on so many sets that just are really kind of like had some iconic people on it with you. You've made your way onto The Walking Dead, Speechless, iconic Alvin and the Chipmunks. Which of these roles was the first one that you looked around and recognized as being that big project that you're working on that just stuck with you?
Walking Dead was probably the first one because that was really the first real big project, household name type project that I had done. So especially at that time, it was on season 3. And that was really kind of starting to get in their heyday. You know, the first 4 or 5 seasons, it was like really, really popular. And I think now they're on their 10th. But I just remember being like so blown away that I even got an audition, you know, because I hadn't really done too much at that point, you know, the small indie things around that are local, and Walking Dead does film in Georgia, so that certainly helped. But definitely being on that set was like, this is huge, this is a big budget thing, and you're like that feeling of like, this is what I'm doing this for, you know what I mean? That feeling of like, wow, I'm part of something that means something to me. You know, I watched that show, and getting the audition was exciting, but they're super intense about like, if you get the audition, I mean, after you film it, you can't tell anybody, you know, at all. So
I always love the booking stories. Now, do you remember where you were when you got the notification that you were booked on the show, and who were the first people you told?
Oh, I was with my parents. My agent called me and was like, hey, are your parents in the room? Because we were all friends with her. And she's like, you should put this on speakerphone. And she told us, I mean, my mom was crying, my dad was crying, I was crying. It was a huge moment for me. Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about the EP, Automatic Focus, and the single Cry Baby, available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. What was the process like for creating these tracks?
Well, when I was filming Greyhound, I really felt like I've been playing music in bands for a while, and really it's one of my favorite things to do, but I hadn't actually put anything out that was kind of like something I had written or I had produced. And I kind of gave myself a goal of like, by the end of the year, I'm going to make something that I'm proud of and that I put out. And even if it's not perfect, I'm going to put it out and I'm going to be happy. And Automatic Focus, I put out under the name Focal Feature, which is on SoundCloud. But then I was really pumped about that. And my friends and family were really pumped to see me do something like that. And I decided to kind of switch the name just to my name to make it a little easier for people to find, you know? And so that's why Crybaby is under my name and the EP is under Focal Feature. But when I worked on Crybaby, I did it with my friend, Ricky Morales, no one else but Rico, shout out, that's his name. And we just brought it together. He brought me the track at its basic level, and then I added a couple things, and he added some things, and he was like, you should throw some vocals on there. And it just kind of was like that for a few days. And suddenly we had this track that we were really excited about. and I approached my friend Austin Daig, who directed the music video. And that was the first time that I really felt like, man, like I can bring all these elements together with really talented friends and we can make something really cool. And that was it for me. Now it's one of my favorite things to do.
All right, as we begin to wind down the interview here, these are some rapid fire questions. We call them the final 5. Are you ready for it?
Let's go. I'm ready.
All right, first one. Who do you speak with the most right now?
Who do I speak with the most right now? Well, definitely my parents, now that I'm back home from LA and been here for about a month and a half. So I see them every day and they're the best, no complaints there.
Other than your phone, what item do you use the most each day?
Oof, other than my phone. My computer, does that count?
That counts. We'll go with it.
There we go.
When did you know that this is what you wanted to do, acting?
Oof, probably in high school. I'd done plays before that, which was really fun, but I think being on set and really getting that, like, whoa, like I can do this feeling, that was when it was like set in stone.
Where is your dream vacation?
Maybe like Fiji. That place looks beautiful. I've never been. I don't even know that much about it, but every picture I've seen on Google looks amazing.
It's just that thing where you feel like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go to Fiji one of these days.
Yeah, it's a classic,
And then finally, how do you define success?
I define success by doing what's meaningful for you. And if you're lucky enough to get paid and make a living doing that, that's even better. But if you can find something in your life that gives you meaning and makes you feel like you're making a difference even in a small way, then that's success.
Parker WIERLING, great job. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time today. If you can leave the people with about 15 seconds of why they should check out Yes, God, Yes when it comes out, what would you have to say to them to get them to go check it out?
I would have to say Yes, God, Yes is just an amazing film by Karen Main, female filmmaker. There's not enough being pushed out right now and being represented. So she's incredible. The film's incredible. It's a story I haven't seen be told, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Parker, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time today. We look forward to our paths crossing again down the line.
Yes, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it.